Hey CDR Nation, it's day 125, August the 12th, Diary of an Entrepreneur, Superstart Sunday. Here we go. Sunday, preparing for the week. We've got a lot of things going on this week, a lot of meetings going on this week. Going to finalize things with Hometown Tees and Mitchell, looking at some properties down there. We're going to get things rolling with that. Still working on DMT Entertainment. Dead Man T-Girls is coming up pretty soon. We're going to get you guys in on that. I told you guys I would get you involved in the makings of these businesses and the behind the scenes. I'm in the Why Not Me studio right now with Mr. Nate Ellis. He does exist. I told you guys I would get him on camera. We saw him a little yesterday. We are actually in the headquarters of Why Not Me right now, and he's going to ask me a few questions. We're going to kind of make this happen. It doesn't matter where you start. Doesn't matter how you guys start. As long as you start, we know that you're going to be right here when you start, and you're going to be here when you get rolling, and that's okay. We're not professionals at doing this. Nate's not a professional yet, but he's going to be a professional. He's getting his little podcast going for Why Not Me, and we're gonna build empires brick by brick, and this is how we're doing it. So I'm gonna let Nate take over. I got Boston on the other camera. We're gonna see what angles looks good. We've got new software that we've got going. We're working on things, so here we go.
What's going on, guys? It's Nate from Why Not Me. Basically what we're working on today is we're going to do kind of like a mock interview. Maybe if you didn't think you knew Cecil as well as you did, hopefully we can kind of iron some of that stuff out and you actually get to know the guy. He's actually pretty nice. Yeah, give me a few seconds here. I'll get some of these notes set up. All right. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So, what's your name?
My name is Cecil Roulette Jr. Cecil Douglas Roulette Jr., CDR Nation.
What business are you in?
I'm in a multiple of businesses. I've got a t-shirt printing shop called TC Printing and More. We've got a new brand that's coming out called Hometown Tees and More. We're going to do our Hometown Tees of Mitchell. We're going to do Hometown Tees of French Lick. I've got Bad Tea Publishing and Productions that does the editing for CDR Nation and some other things. We publish books for people like Mike Harkness we were talking about yesterday. And then I've got CDR Nation here. We've also got Dead Man Tees and DMT Entertainment that we are launching some brands under.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the business that you're in right now with CDR Nation. Well, I mean, what kind of goals do you have, plans? Where are you wanting to take it?
CDR Nation is kind of a behind-the-scenes look at building a business. Like I said yesterday to my fans, we've been at this several days, 115 days now for recording, but this is a behind the look of an entrepreneur. We're not perfect. We're not doing it right. I say a lot, as you know, some of my haters have pointed out to me, and that's okay. The haters are the fuel that's going to take me to where I need to go, and I'm cool with that. We're not professionals. The editing, I don't edit out a lot of the imperfections that we have, because I want my guys to see behind the scenes. I want them to see that we all fail. It's not something that is not a all of us fail. It's going to happen. We're going to fail, and we have to take those failures and build upon those failures, and then forget about those failures. We got to take the best out of everything, even the successes. So it's for the common guy. It's not for the guy out there posting on Instagram with the nice girls on the yacht and the fancy airplanes and the watches and things like that. It's for you guys out there that are building it brick by brick, day by day.
I 100% agree. Love what you do with CDR Nation, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's kind of rewind a little bit here. Kind of get into your past. What kind of led you up to this? So, I mean, at what point did you realize that you just weren't an average Joe, and business was your way to go? That was your Route 66.
I think I made a statement once, and I'm a writer as well. I have CDR writing, and I've always had a passion for writing. And in the second grade, I wrote my first story, "The Cat Lost in the Rain," and it got published in the local newspaper. And I remember my teacher handing me a paper and she said, "You have a lot of grammar mistakes in here. You have a lot of spelling mistakes in here." And I looked at her and I said, "Teacher, I ain't going to be no writer when I grow up." And I didn't. I spent several years trying to be the normal person, trying to be the husband, trying to be the father, the guy that had the full-time job, the guy that had the house, the American dream. But it wasn't for me. And when I shut those avenues off, it's like when you shut off a water tap, but the water's still going, and it expands, and it's going to explode. And that's me. When I shut off my writing or I shut off my business, I want to explode, and it's not me, and it's not how I want to live. So I think that from the earliest time that I can remember of having thoughts of talking to my mom and dad, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to build a business. But for 41 years, I've tinkered with building businesses, and I've let other people's successes take me to, or other people's visions of success take me on my journey, and that's not right. It's not their journey, it's my journey, and I'm now understanding that it is my journey, and I need to accept that.
Yeah, if you don't take control of your life, somebody else will, for
Amen.
sure.
Yes.
But let's get in a little bit more detail here, because I know you got a lot of good stuff you're holding back. So where exactly would you say you got your grit, and your tenacity, your ability to push forward through even like the toughest circumstances?
I come from a father who was a truck driver and a mom who was a nurse, and neither one of them graduated high school. My mom was a QMA. She wasn't a nurse. She was working on being a nurse when she passed away. But she went to night school to get her diploma, her GED, and she didn't graduate high school. And I know education's important, but it was that she went to do the best for her family. My dad was 18. My mom was 16 when they got married. They had my sister with the first child shortly after that, and she went to work for the family to build an empire. I mean, they were entrepreneurs from the get-go because they were building a family out of nothing. And I saw how they strived for that, and they worked really, really hard to do that. But one of the things that I relate to my drive is that I remember my mom when she had cancer, and she was gonna give up. She was done. She was gonna give up. And I remember going to her in a selfish. I think I may have been 10 at the time. I can't remember, but I remember going to her selfishly, and I'm saying, "Well, what about me? If you give up and die, what about me?" And my mom looked at me and she said, "For you, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight it." And my dad would carry my mom to the bathtub so she could take a bath, carry her and help her get dressed, and then carry her to the car so she could go to work, so she would have enough energy to get through an 8-hour day. So this woman's dying of cancer, and she doesn't want to fail her fellow crew where she's working and her fellow patients, or the patients that were there at the nursing home. She didn't want to fail them. I think that's where my drive comes, that she was up against something that was going to kill her. She was against something that was eating her alive from the inside out and killing her day in and day out. And she said, "You know what? I'm going to fight this shit. I'm not going to just take this laying down. I'm going to fight this shit." There is nothing that I will come up against in this life, short of my own self getting cancer and dying, that will ever top that. She fought the ultimate battle. And my first wife, my people out there at CDR Nation know that, and I don't, the Why Not Me community probably doesn't know this about me. My first wife passed away when she was 27. I was 26. She paid the ultimate sacrifice. There's nothing that the haters in the world can throw at me that will ever top that. There's nothing you guys can do to me. I mean, if you want to say it arrogantly and cocky, I'm unstoppable. It's all up to me.
I believe it, absolutely. I actually really like that story. So you talk a lot about your mom and kind of how she affected you and kind of helps you get to where you're at right now. So a little bit about your dad. How would you say your dad's kind of affected you and motivated you, and what kind of role does he play in your life?
My dad, shortly after my mom got cancer, he was Ward Cleaver before then. Nate may be a little bit young and no Ward Cleaver. Leave it to Beaver. My Boston, Boston is probably young, but leave it to Beaver. His dad, Ward Cleaver, was a model man. It's an old sitcom, and he was a model man, model citizen. Went to work for his children, went to work for his family, come home. My dad was that guy. My dad was Ward Cleaver before my mom got cancer. After my mom got cancer, my dad became an alcoholic. He was annoying drunk. Let me tell you, he would come home at 3 o'clock in the morning, wake me up and say, "Hey, listen, I want you to rhythm this new song that I learned as I sing it and pick it, and I want to perfect it." Even as an old drunk, he was a perfectionist. He wanted to perfect something that he heard. It may not have meant anything to the whole world, but it meant something to him. He wanted to conquer this song. So even in the midst of a tragedy, even in the midst of failure, even in the midst of a storm, when I'm looking at my dad and I'm thinking, dude, I got a test tomorrow, I got to survive high school, you're a drunk, go to bed. Even in that, I'm learning that if it's important to you, you conquer it no matter what the hour is. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I need somebody on my team, if I need Nate, I'm calling him 3 o'clock in the morning. Dude, I got to get this problem solved.
Absolutely.
That's the way my dad was. He had to solve this problem. I learned. My dad was the original grinder, entrepreneur. I've saw him sell pallets, drunker than anything I've ever saw. But he was a people's man. He was down on their level. He talked to them every day, and he didn't try to be something that he wasn't. He was relatable. People could relate to him.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's got a lot of good limo stories too.
Yes.
You might just hear about it at some point.
Yeah.
So with all that backstory, and it's really pushed you forward a lot. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? The next 5 years, let's say.
For 41 years, I've kind of followed, like I said, everybody else's vision of what the perfect person should be. And I'm now coming into my own realm that I'm realizing that I don't care what they think. I don't care what those people think. I don't care what their path is. It's not for me. The ultimate goal, like Gary Vee says, you have to set that goal, the ultimate goal. If you want to be a millionaire, set that goal. And like I tell you guys, I don't care if you want to be a janitor. Just be the best damn janitor you can be. Don't half-ass it. Don't be lazy. Be the best damn janitor you can be.
Don't limp in. Limp in sucks. I mean, if you're going to do something, give it 100%.
Exactly. If you want to be the president of the United States, and I hope you're listening, Mr. Trump, be the best damn president you can be, baby. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever you are, be the best damn whatever you can be. So I kind of learned early on that 41 years I spent following other people's paths, but now I'm learning that I want to be who I want to be. So ultimately for me, it's not the money. I know the money's the necessary evil. The cash flow, as we've talked, there's positive cash flow and there's negative cash flow. Mm-hmm. Trust me, Nate knows some of my stories on my finances and what I'm up against that I can't let you guys up against yet. When that money's going out the wrong direction, that's a negative cash flow. It's going to suck you dry. Energy, it's going to suck you dry mentally. It's going to suck your finances dry, your bank account dry. You know, I heard a quote from a movie from Cinderella Man. He said, I owe everybody. That's how I feel right now. I owe everybody. But that's okay, because I know what the ultimate goal is. And the ultimate goal is freedom, okay? To get to the freedom, to be able to help other people where I need to go, I have to have cash flow, a positive cash flow. I know that, and a massive positive cash flow. How do I get there? I've got to have sales, okay? I have to have sales, because sales cures everything. Sales going to get there. And enough sales gets a positive cash flow. So then, step down from that, I've got to sell some t-shirts. I've got to sell some videos. I've got to do some productions. I've got to sell some merchandise. I gotta. Do you guys hear it? I gotta do it. I can't expect Nate to do it. Nate's helping me, but I'm the man in charge. I'm heavy as the head that wears the crown. It's all on me. I have to do this.
Nobody's going to earn your success for you.
Exactly. So I want to get to a point of freedom where I can help people, but I've got to do it. It starts right here.
So what advice would you give a new entrepreneur, or maybe even somebody that's been in the business for a little bit, you know, that maybe doesn't understand something, doesn't know where they're at, how to get to the next level? Well, I mean, what advice could you have to offer other people? Because you've obviously been through a lot of setbacks, you know what I mean? And you've clearly punched your way through. And I've definitely seen you develop, especially in the past 2 years, really getting to where you're at now, excited and full of energy, and really want to attack, you know what I mean, and conquer.
Well, I think that question you can give the 10-cent answer, the 10-cent reply, and the 10-cent reply is, this shit ain't easy. This shit, it will kill you, and you've got to be built for it. So the $1 million answer, to build off that, this shit ain't easy. But it's rewarding. I told you guys, it's like having a child. When you hold that child for the first time, you're scared. You don't know what to do. It's your first child. You're like, what do I do? If I drop it, is it gonna break? Is it gonna die? What do I do? Nate's a new dad. He understands this.
Oh, 100%.
And you hold that child. Then that child starts to cry, and you're like, what do you need? Do you need food? Do you need clothes? Do you need bathe? Do you need change? That's the same way as being an entrepreneur, because your business is your baby.
You just got to work at it until something starts working.
You're not going to know what to do. But you know something that we have today, that Nate is 21? 21. I'm 41, so there's a 20-year difference from us. But we're the same. We're the same person. We're the same entrepreneur. We're out there grinding. But something that Nate's generation has that I didn't have, It's Google. Google that shit, man. YouTube it. What is one of the 10 steps, CDR's 10 steps to success? Ask the question. Who cares? Who cares if the question makes you look like an idiot as long as the answer is making you money? I don't care. So the advice that I give you guys is that you got to be built for this. This shit's not easy. Don't go into it thinking this shit's not easy. Don't go into it thinking that you're going to conquer the world, because the world's going to knock you down. So the world's going to knock you down, just like this. Things don't always go as planned. My camera on my phone just said, "Hey, we're done. Our memory's full. I've got Boston over here." With the other camera, so we're good. We're going to make it happen, and that's the thing. You've got to be willing to take a punch. You got to be willing to roll with it, and you got to be willing to just improvise and go from where and take it the way it goes. That's a perfect example. I love that.
Now, to kind of elaborate when he's talking about asking a question, and I'm sure he'll agree with me, you got to make sure you do your research, because you can't just ask any questions. You got to make sure you're asking the right question that's going to get you the answers that you need. You know what I mean?
You can ask all the questions you want, and you can ask any question in the world. But if you're like we said, we're carpet bombing these targets. So why not me, people? Your nation out there doesn't know this from my CDR Nation, but we're carpet bombing everything. We're putting everything out there and seeing what sticks. You can put 1 million questions out there. Some of them are going to cost you money if you don't ask them the right way. Oh, and you're exactly right. Do your research. Ask the questions that are going to make you money, because what it's all about. It's all about cash flow, and it's all about making that money right there.
Oh yeah, and I feel like more importantly than asking the questions, you got to make sure you're listening as well.
Exactly.
You can't just ask. You got to listen to what people are telling you, what the market's telling you. You know what I mean?
Man, that's probably $1 million answer right there. If you're not willing to receive the information that you're getting, it doesn't matter if you're asking questions or if you're reading a book or you're listening to a motivational speaker or if you're Googling something. If you're not willing to listen to the answer and to put the time in to dissect the answer and make it work for you, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, it'll hurt you. It'll set you back for sure if you're not careful. So let's kind of get in, because you're really devoted to CDR Nation. You know what I mean? You post every day, rain, shine. You know what I mean? Whether you just are having a terrible day, off day. So, let me think about how I need to ask this. How do you develop the habit of getting done what needs to get done when you don't want to do it?
Well, I record every day, and we've faced a lot of upload issues. We're in a small community. Nate Ellis is in a small community as well. And the internet around here really sucks. I mean, let's just be honest, it sucks. Okay, so we run into a lot of issues. We've run into software issues. We've ran into old computers. But I made a promise to my viewers, CDR Nation, that we're going to do this for 1 year straight. We're gonna record. You're gonna get raw emotion. If you don't like it, tune into somebody else. That's my answer to you. If you don't like it, tune into somebody else. If you like what I'm putting down, I'm gonna give you raw emotion. I'm gonna give you the unshaven sometimes. I'm gonna give you the exhausted sometimes. I'm gonna post at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna post it at noon sometimes. I'm gonna post whenever I can to get this information for you guys. I didn't say that I was gonna put something out here professionally done. I said I was gonna get a raw emotion out here to you guys, because I think that's what my fans want. That's what they're going to see. They want to see the struggles. Go for it.
All right. So, what kind of habits have you picked up or developed over the past 5, 10, 20 years? You'd say really kind of promoted your growth mentally and in your business, your finance, your life. You know what I mean? Your family. So what kind of success habits do you have that allow you to get up and conquer the day?
When my first wife passed away, my sister asked me that night, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do now? Your wife passed away suddenly. What are you going to do?" And I said, "You know what? I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to close my eyes. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to open those eyes, and I'm going to step on the floor, and I'm going to take a step forward. It may take me 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years to put that step down and take the next step forward." And we call that the long step forward. I have a poetry book called The Long Step Forward. It talks about that. And those are the things that I just do. I go forward. It's a forward motion no matter what hits me. If it punches me and it knocks me down, I get back up and go forward. If it sets me back 13 steps, I get up and I go forward. I think so many times that where we're at, we hit a brick wall it knocks us back 5 steps, and we want to spend 13 days thinking about those 5 steps that knock us back. And then we're 13 days behind. And if it takes us 13 days to get to the 5 steps, then we're 26 steps. We're 26 days behind. So with me, I'm built to take a punch. I'm not saying it's not going to knock me off my course, but I stay forward. And I've built that, and I work every day to move forward. I'm not working this hard today to be the same damn person I am a year from now. I want to be better. I want to grow, and it's a moving forward. It's a perpetual movement forward.
Absolutely, and I say something similar to that as well. You know, it's who you are right now, and the person you have been. Are they getting you the results that you want? You know, are you demanding what you need out of yourself? You know what I mean?
Right.
So talk about moving forward. Totally just lost my train.
You're fine. And you know, it's funny. We're not in a professional studio.
Oh, yeah.
There's a dog barking in the background. So you know, it's kind of like one day I was videotaping, and I said, you know what, people, I'm a legend in the making. And my dog Sophie goes woof, and I left it in my video, and I put a little tag in there. It says Sophie agrees that I'm a legend in the making. This is it, guys. This is raw emotion from Why Not Me, from CDR Nation. It's not going to be perfect every day. It's not going to go the way you want it. And there's going to be things that you're just going to laugh about. And when we're in $1 million studio one of these days doing these interviews, we're going to laugh and think, where the hell's the dog at? We need a dog in here barking. This is too quiet, man.
Oh, yeah.
So that's fine.
All right, so let's move forward here a little bit. What would you say your greatest success in life has been so far? With your family, with your finances, I mean, with you, with your business?
My dad always said, somebody asked me once, what is your greatest success? So my dad was named Cecil, and Cecil Douglas Rolette Sr., and I love the man to death. He was my hero as an alcoholic. He was my hero as Ward Cleaver. Nate needs to look up Leave It to Beaver. Watch a few episodes so you understand what I'm coming for there. But somebody asked me, Cecil, what's your greatest success? And he said, my 4 greatest assets in the whole, or my 4 assets in the whole wide world are my 4 children. And my assets, my success, is my 2 children that are my blood, and my 2 children from Natasha that are not my blood, but they are my children. And those 4 children, I do this for them. I do this so that they know that you don't have to work a job day in and day out unless you want to. You don't have to be a manager of a store unless you want to. You don't have to be a laborer on a factory line unless you want to. But the thing, and Boston's giving me a funny look here behind the camera, but the thing of it is, what I tell them is, and this is where this comes from, I don't care if you pick up trash, but love what you do. Be the best damn whatever you can be. If you want to pick up trash, then be the best damn trash picker upper you can be. Whatever you can make, if that industry caps out at $20,000 a year, you better be at $20,000 as quick as you can. If you go to be a lawyer and the average caps out to $100,000 a year, get there as quick as you can. That's what I teach my children. I want them to drive and to be successful and get there as quick as they can, and they don't care what it is. If Denver wants to somehow play video games for a living, and he can make money. Nate knows Denver, so that's kind of why it's funny for us. And if he can make money at it,
do it.
Then and he can support his family, then do it. But I want him to be the best damn video player that he can be.
Absolutely. Let's kind of switch gears here, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, but I would say a lot of business and tenacity and all that jazz, I think a lot of it boils down to just having a killer mindset. You know what I mean? Like waking up and just being like a shark. You know what I mean? You don't care. You got no predators. You just attack. You know what I mean? You're not paying attention to anything else. You just got the mindset. You're in the zone. You do what you need to do on a daily.
I'm gonna quote Nathan here, Nate Ellis. I'm gonna quote him here, and he's kind of shocked here, but he's one of my DMT entertainment advisors, but he's more than that. He's an advisor on everything that I do. Even though there's a 20-year difference between us, he advises me as much as I advise him. And one of the things Nathan has a problem with me is that I sometimes lack what I call the kill shot, and he doesn't call it that, but that's what I call it. And I lack that kill shot sometimes. Sometimes I'll run all the way up to the line of or to the touchdown, to the goal line, and then I fail to put that ball into the end zone. And sometimes it's a fear of success. I fight a lot of fear of success. So the kill shot taking the kill shot, being that shark, is not easy, but it's something that you can learn, and it's something day by day that you can do. And the kill shot on the other side is success. If you can take the kill shot, then that's the success. Where the success lies. So it's not easy to take that kill shot. Some people it is. I mean, and Nate is very good at the kill shot. He's very good at completing it all around. He's very good at blocking out the haters. He's very good at blocking out everything and putting that ball in the end zone. I relate Nate as that rookie batter that you're in the ninth inning. It's a tie game in the championship game, 2 outs, and the skipper looks at the rookie and says, "Okay, I'm gonna bring you to bat." The senior batter's going to sit down, and the senior batter's like, "Why am I sitting down? I can hit a home run." Yeah. But he puts the rookie in because the rookie doesn't know any fear. He doesn't know any difference.
He's never been there.
He's never failed. He's never been there, and it's not a bad thing. He's ready for the kill shot. Mm-hmm. So just lucky. Go ahead.
Doing what he knows. He just sees the ball and he hits the ball.
He's doing what he knows. So the kill shot, I lack in the kill shot, but it doesn't mean that I can't train every day for the kill shot, and that's what I do. I get up every day and I say I'm going to go after it. I'm going to make the decisions that matter. Not making a decision is making a decision. Mm-hmm. Hiding under your desk is making a decision. So,
and he kind of talked about me not really caring, blocking out the haters and all that, and it boils down to just having tunnel vision. You know what I mean? You see,
yes.
You see what you need, and you just, you know what I mean? You don't focus on anything in your peripherals. You're just going straight at it. And it's not something that you start out with, you know what I mean? It's developed, and some people it goes, you know what I mean? Yep. You just pick it up, and some people it really takes a long time. And with everything, people have their own struggles. But a lot of it, you can't care about other people. You know what I mean? It's like the other day somebody said to me, I don't care what they say about you, Nate. I like you. It's like, I don't care either. I'm glad you like me. But it just, you can't let other people tell you, what your life's going to be like. You just got to look at it, and you got to take what you want. Nobody's going to give it to you.
For 41 years, I spent letting other people define my future and define.
It'll kill you.
Yes, and define who I want to be. And I'm 40 years behind, and I have failed my children. I have failed my children that I'm 41 years behind. We should already be millionaires. And I know people are going to say, well, that's a cocky statement, but we should. We should already be millionaires.
But you know what you want.
We know what we want, yes.
That you can get it,
yes.
is what you're saying. You know what I mean? And if you would have just taken that 10, 20 years later, you would have it.
Exactly.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Because before, 10, 20 years ago, when a failure would happen, I would still be moving forward, but I would lay a lot of ground on trying to understand that failure, and that's okay to evaluate that failure, but you can't get hung up on the failure. And I spent a lot of times getting hung up on the failure and not hung up on the successes. I didn't count the successes, even if they're little successes, like even if it's just holding Boston for the first time or holding Denver for the first time, the little successes. There's a lot. If we look at our life, even with, and Why Not Me, my CDR Nation knows, but the Why Not Me Nation probably doesn't know, I also do a thing called Operation Happiness.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, you've got to count those little happiness. That's happiness and success are hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. So we talked about having the killer mindset. Let's talk about the importance of perspective. You know what I mean? We talked about tunnel vision, and just right on that's your prospect. You're not paying attention to anything else. How important would you say perspective is? I'm going to let you speak, and I kind of got something to add to it, so go ahead. Perspective
is in the point of knowing what you want and going for that.
Well, it's kind of like we talk about failures and success. You know what I mean? You don't really see the failures as a bad thing. You see it as a learning experience. Yeah. That's the kind of perspective a lot of people get hung up on.
And that's a death sentence, if I can say it. It's a death sentence for success. It's a death sentence for you personally. It's a death sentence for your business. You can't get hung up on the failures, because just as I'm telling you that everybody experiences successes and we have to count those successes, everybody experiences failures. I fail every day. I get up and I fail. I have a saying that all I did this morning was get up and I got in trouble. That's the thing, Yeah. We're all going to experience failure, and failure is not a bad word. Mm-hmm. It's not, and we've made it a bad word. Failure is an opportunity to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Failure is a teacher.
And we've been taught that if we fail, we're stupid.
Exactly.
And that's where the misconception comes from.
And you're not going to look at your teacher and say, well, that's stupid. Mm-hmm. Why are you saying that? That's the same way we look at failure and we're like, that's stupid. But it's not. Failure is a learning opportunity. It's a teacher. It's telling you You did this wrong. We all fail. That's fine. Let's not do it again. Let's build on this, and you're going to repeat those failures in several different ways. And
trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of it's just trial and error, cause and effect. You know what I mean? You got to do something, see how it works out, cause and effect, and then just work off of that and see what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Amen.
Another thing, you got to be in life. You got to be a success seeker, and not a failure avoider. And this kind of goes with perspective as well. You know what I mean? We talked about school and what you'd say your teacher and whatnot, but you can't get up for school and say, I gotta freaking go to school today. You know, that's where perspective, and I'm gonna break it down. You can switch that and be like, I gotta, it's an opportunity. I gotta go and learn something, and that's where perspective really can kind of flip your situation a lot.
There's been, and I can't think of anything right now, right offhand, but there's times that we've got up, Natasha and I, which is my fiance and my business partner, and we know something's gonna fail. It's going to happen. We're headed down that point where it's going to fail, and we could say, okay, let's stop and try to avoid this. But sometimes there's no avoiding. That failure is going to happen. So my whole thing is the storms are going to come, and if you turn your plane into that storm, it's going to be over quicker than trying to run from the storm, go around the storm. If you go through that storm, strap in, buckle up, take the hit as it's going to come, and then assess the damage on the other side. And sometimes you just have to turn into the mistake. You know it's coming, and you got to turn into it and get to it quicker, because on the other side of that, like Nate says, is the land of milk and honey, and that's where we're headed. On the other side of that failure is success, and we have to get through the failure.
But don't get it twisted. That you can't get halfway through the storm and get to what you call an eye. You know what I mean? The eye of the hurricane, the calm spot. You can't get comfortable there and then think you got it made, because there's always that little ledge you can break through and have everything you've ever dreamed of. So just don't get confused on that.
You can't stop, and that's the forward motion I'm talking about. When you see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, when you see a little bit of sunshine, you feel that warmth on your face. That's not time. That's not time to stop.
No, it can't be.
That's not time to bask in the glory. That's the time to work harder, baby.
You're right.
That's the time, because there's more storms coming, and the backside of that storm, if you stop, is going to slap the shit out of you, man. It's going to take you down. It's going to put you, and it's going to bury you. So you have to completely go through the storm. I agree with that, and you're the only one that can say what success is. There's nobody out there that can define success for you. We can help you, we can explain where we're at, we can tell you what our successes is, but you're the only one that can tell that, and don't stop until you reach that. And then if you want to go more, then go more. If that success was it, and you're like, hey, I want to try this, I don't think I'll ever be a ballet singer, but if I want to do it, I'm going to go after it all the way.
Oh yeah.
Opera singer, sorry, not a ballet. Those
are
dancers, aren't they? That's okay.
Whatever works. Maybe
there you go.
Sometimes. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap it up? Don't want to give too much away.
No, I mean, and we're going to do more of these collaborations, and I love this. I love the Why Not Me Nation, and I love the CDR Nation, and I think that people need to hear this, and people that are starting out, and even entrepreneurs of 20-year veterans, I think can learn from two entrepreneurs that are just starting out on the journey, and the failures that we're doing, and even the successes that we're grabbing. But you have to be built to take a punch, and I didn't understand that, and I thought I kind of bought into the glory of being an entrepreneur, that it was all rainbows and sunshine, and even a veteran like me that knew that it's not rainbows and sunshines, I bought into that, and I thought it was going to be easy, and this shit's not easy. It's not easy. You got to be built to take a punch, and when the storms come, like we said, go all the way through the storms. Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass anything that you're doing in business. Don't even half-ass your failures. If you're going to fail, do it on a grand scheme. Fail big, and go through that failure, and pick your pieces up and go through. There's only two things that can happen. You're either going to survive that storm, or you're going to die. And if you die, who the hell cares? You're dead anyway. You know what I mean? So what do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? We have to go through the storm.
Absolutely. Failure is the best teacher.
Exactly.
All right.
All right.
I like it.
Still recording? All right, CDR Nation, we are done here. I've got a lot of work to do. I thank Nate for helping me. We let you in on the inside of this. I think we had some camera issues, but that's okay. We're going to go home. We're going to edit this and piece it together the way we got to do. Guys, it only takes one opportunity, one chance, one post, one comment, somebody shouting you out, one friend coming on your podcast, one friend coming over and helping you talk to the CDR Nation. That's all it takes, guys. One stone to take down the giant, one stone or one swing of the sword to slay the dragon. It only takes one, guys. What a difference a second makes, what a difference a minute makes, what a difference an hour makes, what a difference a week or day makes, what a difference a week makes, what a difference a month makes, and hell yeah, what a difference a year makes, guys. Nate Ellis here at Why Not Me. A year from now, I cannot wait to see where this is at, but you got to do it every day. You got to get out there, you got to grind, and you got to build the empire, guys. So we got a lot of work to do here. Nate, do you have anything to say to my audience here?
One more thing I really want to get clear with you guys on. If you're not getting the results from yourself that you need to get to your next level, whatever that may be, with your family, spiritually, financially, physically, maybe you want to get in better shape, you have got to demand more out of yourself. You know what I mean? If you're not getting the results you want, you have got to stop, because the person who you are and who you have been, they're not going to get you to where you want to be, and you have to separate that person. That's not the same person that you dream about of being. That's not the same person you are. You know what I mean? You have to completely detach yourself from what you know and what you think you know, and you got to grow into that. It's somebody you have to chase, and it's going to take a lot of effort to get there, and a lot of people won't do it, but you got to try.
Amen, brother. All right, guys, we got a lot of work to do. Nate's got a lot of work to do with Why Not Me. I've got a lot of work to do, so we're going to get off here. We're going to make it happen, so here we go.